Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burgers with Eric podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Burgers with Eric podcast. My name is Stephen James, your host. To my right is the Juicy Lucy, the Big Moose, the Airbnb King of South Florida, Eric Weingart! What's up, boy?
You skip the N in my name all the time. I love it. Yeah, you don't do the N.
Well, that's in there. In my head, it's in there. Guys, episode 23, rock and roll. It's been a very tumultuous week so far.
Yeah, normally we have to write down topics.
This is kind of nuts. I mean, we did just to keep us on track, but, you know, Hamas and Israel, basically kicking off World War III. We're going to get into that. More NFL talk, because, like, I don't know about you, dude, but I fancy that. I really enjoy talking football and NFL.
It's nice to just have, you need a hobby. You need some getaway time. You need some non-serious time.
Where are those football cards?
Oh, they're right here, dude.
You have them? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to talk about sports memorabilia collecting. And I was going through one of the drawers looking for a pen, and here's like a couple of PSA 10 Josh Allen rookie cards. So we'll talk a little bit about that. That was pretty interesting stuff. The Second Amendment is something we haven't touched on in a while, and given the state of affairs in the world right now, and in this country, I still feel like it's something that's very relevant and very important as an American to exercise. And we're going to get into a little bit about that and some of the rules, if you will, especially in Florida, because I'm very familiar with that. And then peptides are apparently the government's going to step in and ban peptides. So
FDA.
The FDA, yeah, it's going to come in. So let's start with Hamas and Israel, my boy. I guess what's your take here?
So my take on that is this: I withhold belief and withhold judgment unless I know, right?
Yeah.
And I would encourage anybody to do that first and foremost, right? So here's the way I look at it, brother. I was in the Navy during September 11th.
Right.
Dude, I was 19 to 23 years old. Why is it every time we just start, dude?
Because.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was, my dog always wants to get out the second we start this damn podcast. Harvey, get over here. So basically, during September 11th, 2001, I was young, green. I didn't know anything, dude.
No. Just young, dumb, and full of you know what.
I didn't know what a Democrat was.
Right.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know a goddamn thing. So when it happened in the middle of my military term, it was dude, just so you know, it was go time in the military. It went from like, I went on a cruise in the Navy to the Mediterranean for 6 months. Dude, we partied for 6 months.
Yeah.
After September 11, 2001, dude, it was a totally different environment. And dude, it was emotional. Listen, we had 3,000 Marines on our ship.
Yeah.
And listen, most of the Navy guys aren't like the way I was, like aggressive and athletic. So I was always lifting weights with all the Marines, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys became my buddies, and you get emotional. You're like, oh my God, like this war thing is real, right?
Yeah.
So how I processed that over the years, was tough, but I eventually realized as I got older, in my mid to late 20s, the plan and the playbook, right? And to anybody who's listening to this right now, don't be that young, naive fool. This is a playbook. And I'm not saying people aren't dying.
Right.
I'm not saying people aren't being killed. I'm not saying there's not radicals. I'm just saying there's an agenda. And to me, it's 9/11 all over again. 9/11's agenda was, I believe, just the Patriot Act.
Oh, 100,000%.
Right? You would agree?
1,000%. Yeah, for sure.
Basically, lawlessness government.
For sure. And I mean, when nothing happened, I mean, what the hell? The Patriot Act and the NSA is the only thing that came out of it. And, they occupied and slaughtered millions of innocent Iraqis and just left. So, I mean, I don't get it. Like, you can't instill Western democracy in a nation like Iraq or Iran or anything like that for 3,000 years has been one way, and they're ideologues. They're fighting over, beliefs. they're willing to die for that belief.
Spiritual.
Yeah, they're willing to die for it. You can't tell them any other way. And what's fucking wild, bro, is we're starting to see that in this country. You know, the LGBTQ thing, BLM, these are all religions. And it became really clear to me last night as I'm watching Instagram reel, and it's Tucker Carlson talking about, you know, the next step for Trump is assassination. And he's just like, dude, think about it. Right? So, and then I go to the comments and I start reading. And this one fucking guy, there's always one. You know what I mean? There's always one. They go in and they're talking about, if you guys aren't going to, you right-wingers aren't, you people aren't going to do shit. You're a bunch of pussies, blah, blah, blah. Talking, because the sentiment was if they assassinate Donald Trump, the country will burn, and then, you know, it's gonna kick off Civil War 2.0 basically. And this guy's like, you know, he's not gonna do shit, blah blah blah. So I go to his profile to see, like, how can somebody be this ignorant? Because, you know, we'll get into the why before, and we've talked about it, but, you know, the BLM sticker, the constant pictures of him wearing masks and all this shit. The point of it is, this is religion, right? And these people, like, they haven't figured this out yet. Like, you all got scammed. You're being used for an agenda. Like, what happened? Joe Biden and the Democrat Party always promises the black community the sun, moon, and the stars. Then they get into office, and what happens? Nothing. And it's been that way, brother, for the last 100 years. And they're still voting for these people. You know, providing voting is actually true, which we don't really know anymore. But it's like, dude, I presented him with all kinds of truthful facts that your leaders abandoned you and bought $15 million homes in the neighborhoods that you are all claiming are racist. And you're still stuck with these ideas? That's fucking wild to me.
Yeah, they hide. This is the genius of their wildness, the genius of the insanity.
Yeah.
Is they, you know, I'll just use BLM, right? There's anybody who says a black life doesn't matter is obviously ruthless, right? Yeah. So to say a black man or a black woman, young child, young woman, whoever it is, of course their lives matter. Right. So when you say, this is the genius, and you got to give it to them, right. The enemies are genius. Mm-hmm. When you say you're against BLM, right? It's you're racist.
Yeah.
He
played that card 50 fucking times.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And people like me and you have to just say, no, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that the organization itself is misleading and corrupt.
Right. And it's like they can't read the context of what we're saying. That's either because they're so far gone in indoctrination, or they're just stupid. I mean, because, bro, the average IQ in this country is like 86.
Dude, speaking of, and I never know what to believe on TikTok and stuff, you know, but I did see something pretty leading into that on TikTok that who knows if it's true, but it's wild to think. So apparently there was this one scientist that took like 100 children under the age of 5. 96% of them registered at genius level.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the age of 10, like 50%. After the age of 16, like 12%. Yeah. After the age of 18, like 2%. And that obviously that's a whole other conversation. But that's obviously diet.
What's going on here? Oh yeah,
you know, food.
Yeah,
You know, iPads. There's no way it's healthy,
dude. And it's so hard. Even to tangent off of that, dude. We give the kids iPads all the time.
Be very careful. I mean, I know the temptation.
When I say all the time, it's not 24 hours a day. Is
shut up, kid. Grab your iPad.
Pretty much. Like mommy's got to clean a house. Like here, sit still for 5 seconds. Just sit still. Yeah. So it's tough living in these technological times. But yeah, that's crazy, bro. 96% of them geniuses, and I see my 2 kids. And they're just so inquisitive and smart, and they know shit. Like, dude, my son baffles me every day. Like, where the fuck did you figure? How did you know that? Yeah. Like, dude, he's figured out, right? So if I have to go in the garage and I don't want them running around outside because they don't have shoes on or whatever, I have to lock it. And we flip the lock where I lock it from inside the garage, not inside the house. Bro, he's figured out he'll bring like one of his little trikes or whatever, tons of shit for these kids in the house. He'll bring something over that he can stand on.
Oh wow!
To reach the keys that are they're all hanging up in the corridor. He'll grab a key and dude, it'll take him a minute, and I can hear him fiddle fucking around with the knob, and he'll get it, and he'll
He's
pop
just
the
problem solving. I
bro.
love it.
It's all he's doing at 3.
Yeah.
Like he'll pop that door open and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Hey, dude." Like I don't know if you remember in my house, but in that corridor there's like a sliding window.
Yeah.
Right. So that it was a pass through from when the original owners built the house. They pull their car in, put the groceries on top of the workbench. I get that's my workbench now, but it was just a cabinet series, right? And then you could just pull the groceries in instead of carrying them all in the house. Dude, there's like little locks on the side of it. And oh boy, he's figured it out. I've never shown him how to do it. Every once in a while, he'll just, "Hi, Dad." Like, what are you doing, man? So what happens between, this level of intelligence and inquisitiveness and like beta brainwaves that are solely just imagination, right? That's what these kids run on, man. And like 11, 12, 13 years old, do their hormones start making them stupid? Is it outside influence? Is it not nurturing that, that inquisitiveness? Like, what? I guess that my first question to that is, why do they turn into absolute morons?
Deteriorate? Man, that's a 5-hour long conversation because, listen, there's a lot of things. Food.
Yeah.
Right? Food.
Yeah, I read something on that.
Dude, think about this. I'm just going to use my dogs as a damn test.
For sure.
I'm mad at myself. I was feeding my 2 children, Harvey and Gigi, dog food. Okay? Dog food for the first few years. And I finally, this company, Ollie, they send it fresh all the time. Dude, these dogs, their entire behavior has changed.
Stop.
Their entire behavior has changed.
Really?
Positive, excited to eat, energetic. It's unbelievable what it's done to them. So I use that analogy because I know traditionally our diet is dog food.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one. Okay. All right. Number 2, you have like, it's almost like if a woman wants to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mother, it's almost like she's admonished. It's like, no, that's typically what's best for the family.
Yeah, but that's the women's lib movement right there. Like,
Yeah,
you have to be a boss, babe. Like we don't really care, and that's not your biological function. It's ours. It's not theirs.
I don't care if a guy. Listen, I have a couple friends. They're stay-at-home dads. They're awesome guys.
Oh, yeah.
They're ladies' bank.
Sure.
There's unique cases like that, dude.
Sure.
Go ahead, but I don't think that should be the norm.
No.
But what I'm talking about is the breakdown of the most fundamental natural family dynamic that is made to nurture and grow children has obviously been attacked.
Yeah, it's been deteriorated severely. So you think that's what it is? Now you have the state basically raising your kids. Unless you're sending your kids to private school.
God, schools, here we go.
Bro,
that's what I'm saying. It's coming from all angles.
these poor kids have no chance unless you're literally shielding them, 24/7 for the first 15, 16 years of their life, bro.
Dude, I'll throw this out there, bro. Like, this is really sad. People that are 20 years old today that went through COVID, right, as 15, 16, 17, whatever, these kids can't look you in the eye, bro.
Really?
Oh, I'm dead serious. They can't, not many of them.
What is that?
I believe at a critical age, they're like your high school senior year, your high school junior year, like those kids, like that's what, it's kind of when you come, I don't know, you're becoming a man, you're becoming a woman. You should
start figuring your personality out.
And I think a lot of that was suppressed. Social interaction was suppressed. So I just think there's a lot of, deep-rooted depression at that age. I really do.
Oh, for sure.
I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So what's the answer?
Well, I think we're a long ways away from the answer, unfortunately, because so to get back to this, right? And we talked about 9/11. We got bigger problems right now because how we talked about the agenda. What's the Patriot Act?
Right.
What do you think the agenda is this time? How scary is that?
Well,
what's the end goal?
If I had to take a stab at it, listening to, Glenn Beck and then Clay and Buck on the way over all day long I was driving, so I was listening to AM radio. there's a lot more to the BRICS situation than meets the eye.
For sure.
And
Wow.
so they talked about what made America great between, World War I and, probably 20 years ago. And
U.S. dollar? Is that
yes, but more importantly, the U.S. dollar that was backed by what? Gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Working hard, like hard work ethic, right? Essentially the American dream. It's all but dead. So what do I think it is? And by the way, BRICS has been around for about 20 years.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, you knew that. Most people don't know that. The agenda will be to exercise the Great Reset and take America and the West from its pedestal and install a completely different form of hierarchy on the world stage. Unfortunately, the religious fundamentalism that some of these Muslim nations possess doesn't necessarily transfer into being good people. You know what I mean? And I guess it's perspective. Like we were a Christian nation for a very long time, but look at the difference between World War II and today. Like, dude, if you couldn't serve in World War II and they turned you down, the people were committing suicide because they couldn't serve.
Wow.
Now, bro, today everybody's like, what can I get from you? And they wouldn't, bro. Here's what I think. I think if you see another 9/11 style attack in this country, it's going to go severely different than it did in 2001. Meaning, think about the unity. Everybody, everywhere had American flags. There's a sense of pride in the nation and patriotism. I don't think we can get back there. So I think the goal of this is the next thing you're going to see is trying to take Taiwan because no one's paying attention anymore. Now you have China expanding. They already own Africa. They're basically about to own Brazil if they don't already. Argentina, Venezuela, all these countries, they're just ripe for the picking, and we're asleep at the wheel. So what do I think the agenda is?
Yeah.
I think the agenda is a rapid, reprogramming.
Well, let me ask this. Is there I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I think that's like you said, BRICS started 20 years ago. Yeah. Clearly these other global powers, they got the long-term plan in play, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think is, and I have a couple ideas. Yeah. Like I think there's an event or like a something, an actual event or an occurrence that comes out of this. So like me and you were talking before, you can see it all over the news right now that, there's an estimated 70,000 illegal immigrants that have crossed the border.
7 million.
Well, no, 70,000 attached to radical Muslim groups. That's the number I was getting at, right? Okay. So there's let's say 70,000 soldiers on our soil, right? And the scary part is this is the part that scares me, and this is why the Second Amendment is so critical. Dude, I think it's kind of easy to stay away from big cities. I think it's easy to stay away from concerts. I think it's easy to stay away from malls. It's not easy to stay away from my house. And if they start a great strategy for them, and it's possible, is what if they just start going rogue? What if there really is 70,000 soldiers? What if they just go rogue? They go to this house in Delray Beach and they just go in there and shoot people up and kill them and drive away. What if they do that times 70,000? Over and over and over, like that would be very hard to defend. The only way to defend it is everybody's on notice with a weapon. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's even more guerrilla warfare than
that's where my mind was going. That's a guerrilla tactic.
It's scary to think.
Yeah, I mean, especially like under the cover of night. Kristallnacht comes to mind from Nazi Germany. That's what they did. Yeah, I mean, these people are, what's the word? Opportunists, right? When the guard is down, which is civilians sleeping at night. So a coordinated attack of 70,000 military-age Hamas fucking, terrorists, that could be a thing. I don't think you're going to see it in Florida. I don't think you're going to see it in Montana.
I agree with that.
I think you're going to see it in New York, Chicago,
Massachusetts,
California,
Jersey.
Connecticut would be perfect because they're all rich.
There's a common denominator with those states, Steve.
I know. You ain't got to tell me, man.
So I texted my buddy this, and he has gone from. It's funny. No, it's not funny. He went from. I'm just going to tell this story. I don't want to insult him. He went from someone who wasn't contributing much to society, and he had a very left-wing point of view.
It's typical.
They need to give us more money. They need to help me.
No.
They need to, where's my checks? This is bullshit. All these rich people make this money. Where's my money? Literally, that was kind of his attitude.
It's disgusting.
We should get him on the podcast one day. Today, he's now becoming a successful man. Yeah. He's with a woman who's very successul, and now they're living kind of, in more of the high society, right? And I ask him his political views now, and he's like, I don't want them taking my taxes. I don't want them disrupting my family. Like he's right.
Yeah, it's amazing how that happens.
And then, but I texted him, and I said, hey, not to get. I'm not trying to. One up your. I told you so. I said, do you remember all those school shootings? And dude, I'm not condoning a school shooting.
No.
But do you understand now the importance of, even when horrific things like that happen, that you just can't take weapons out of the people? Yeah. And I said, because what if these 70,000 people really do become rogue and they break into your house? Do you have the right to protect yourself?
You ain't calling the police.
Yeah.
I know, I'm certainly not.
And he was like, yeah, F that. I'm pro.
No, Florida's a much different place than New York when it comes to the Second Amendment, however.
He's in New York, yeah.
Well, good luck, buddy. I don't know. I don't know what the laws are up there anymore because I've been down here for 7-8 years now. But I remember when, the first gun I bought was an AR-15 from Dick's. And I left the same fucking day with it, which was to me fucking crazy because you couldn't get a handgun without a year-long permit process. Each county is different up there in terms of the laws for getting a pistol. I don't know if they further restricted the Second Amendment in New York because prior to me leaving, one of the things they did with AR-15s post the 94 assault weapons ban was now you have to have like a New York compliant AR-15, which effectively is the dumbest thing in the world because all it does is take the pistol grip away. But what the manufacturers have figured out that you could just sweep it and add a leg like this so it looks like a sporterized stock. Sporterized is like a hunting rifle, right? So it's all nonsense. California, the magazine has to be locked in the AR-15. You need a special tool to remove it. It's all fucking nonsense, bro. I got,
and I hate to give you an I told you so, but man, I'm scary on point with these things sometimes. You can go back and look at one of our podcasts we did. I said that I believe, and this is just my intuition, I'm going off here, right? Maybe I'm a psychic or something. It's crazy. But my intuition was that they were going to create this kind of proxy, like we're in a proxy war right now with Russia, and they're going to weaken the army and eventually go to war with Russia. And I said, maybe during like next year's election time, there's some like law that if you're in wartime that, you can delay the election or something to that effect. Well, I was really close because maybe the strategy is this. Wartime is going to be here, and Americans are going to be so fearful of their safety that we're all going to be told to stay home conveniently.
They're going to target the polling stations. It's an attack on democracy.
Aliens and jihadists are going to be attacking.
Because the COVID, they've figured out they can't go back to COVID. Everybody figured it out. You guys are full of shit.
So they're like, they're so smart though, man. Like that's what I'm saying. They keep coming up, and how they keep getting away with this, it's unbelievable. But so clearly we're going to see anybody watching this, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your religion is, whatever your political spectrum is, at the end of the day, I believe we have to take like my family first, our community first, our country first. We have to get back to that mindset because, you know, if you start hearing in the news next spring concerns of what you just said, oh, they're going to attack the polling stations. Like, come on.
Ding,
like,
ding, ding.
Come
red
on.
flag.
Come on.
Yep.
Enough is enough.
Dude, they're not even hiding it anymore.
Go get yourself a gun.
Yeah.
Show up to the damn polling station yourself.
No, that's illegal. You can't. That's one of the places you can't carry.
Damn it. But that's
Yeah.
Now why?
Yeah, I know.
That's interesting.
I know. In fact, no, I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Just leave that alone.
It possibly was on me. I don't know.
But if you start to hear rat, 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 and I got nothing to defend myself, I mean, come on.
Yep.
Like, so that's scary to me.
I should be. I know.
That's scary. See, that scares the heck out of me.
Right. And it's funny that it takes this to wake most people up.
The whole reason I want a gun, I want guns, is to deter. I don't want to use it.
No, you never want to use it.
It's deterrence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole reason I want to be I started taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't want to have to fuck somebody up. I just...
It's not a bad idea to know how.
Don't do it. Don't mess with me because I do know it. Right. You know what I mean? Or boxing, when I learned boxing.
No, the threat of violence is the best deterrent, which is why guns are the great equalizer.
Yeah.
You know, what was it? God made man, but Samuel Colt made them all equal, which was...
I never heard that, but that's good.
Which is ultimately what it is, man. So, you know, anybody listening, like, you know, Eric is concerned with, like, home defense, right? And I made the mistake. I just told the story where I went to like Gander Mountain and bought an AR-15 within 15 minutes, and I walked out with 50 hollow point rounds for the fucking thing. It was crazy. That is not for home defense, folks. This was well before I was a, you know, learned like 2A guy.
You done grown.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. So the reason you don't want to own an AR-15 for home defense is the round is supersonic. It's way too fast. It will go through whatever you're shooting at. It will go through your wall, and it will end up in your neighbor's house.
How does it sound?
Oh, loud.
No. It's like...
Yeah.
Give me a sound.
I'm not going to give you a sound. No, it's so loud that... Yeah,
Is that what it is?
Good, yeah. It's very sharp.
The 50 cals off the Navy were crazy.
Oh, wow. I got a 50 cal handgun.
Really? Oh my God.
Well, I want to see you shoot that. For home defense, best thing you can do is get a shotgun. And the reason is you don't necessarily need all the training in the world for it. You need to know how to operate the tool in order to make it effective. Reason is, you know, if you load it with buckshot or birdshot, you know, you're gonna hit something in close quarters that's, you know, a 3-foot circle effectively. So
sprays, basically, right?
It's literally just point and shoot, and you're gonna hit something.
So what would happen? Just not to cut you off, but I'm just as you're going along. I don't know much about. I've done a little research, but if you were to shoot me with a shotgun from 10 feet away, and I have a gun in my hand, I'm coming at you. Let's say I have a gun in my hand, and you hit me with a shotgun. What's the impact going to be on me with a shotgun?
10 feet?
Yeah.
That's going to be a nasty fucking hole, bro. That's going to be ugly.
Okay, so doesn't it disperse?
Yeah, but not within 10 feet, man. It's like 50 feet, you probably have like this. 60 feet is probably like that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So my chest is totally...
Oh, your hamburger.
If
From
it's my
10
head,
feet?
it's blown up. My head gets blown up.
It's gone. From 10 feet with
It
buckshot?
looks like Walking Dead zombie, like crushed in the head. Yeah.
10 feet with buckshot, you're a hamburger, bro. But again, my point is, if you guys are looking to get weapons to defend your house, a shotgun is the way to do it because, you know, not only is the damage severe, especially in close quarters, it's not going to go through your walls. It'll get embedded before it goes through it. So it's much safer for everybody else. That's not the criminal trying to attack and or steal your shit. A pistol, if you are practiced, if you have the muscle memory for it, if you know how to shoot, that's also very good. However, a lot of times these crimes go down in the dark. So, you know, if you can't see your target, it's really hard to hit with a pistol. Guys, the movies are horse shit. It's bullshit.
What's up with that laser gun, though? Let me get that.
Okay.
Get that Terminator gun,
that's
bro.
fine, but here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
You need to sight that laser with your bore for a set distance. So if your laser bore is set for 30 feet because you're at the range,
they make it look way different in the movies, bro.
Way different. It's not. That's not how it goes, my friend. That's not how it
I
goes.
was about to Terminator that ass.
If you're going to do a pistol for home defense, 45 is probably the way to go. They say fat and slow is better than small and fast.
Yep.
And the 45 is a devastating round. It's just much slower than, say, a 9mm or a 5.56 or 223, which is the AR-15 round. So, for home defense, again, shotgun. For carry purposes, I carry a SIG 365 with the 10-round magazine in it. So it's 10-round magazine plus one in the chamber. And it's always racked. It's always ready to go. And that's the case because I am trained with it. I practice probably once a month with that gun. It's been a minute. Self-admittedly, it's been a while since I've been in a range. But I have so many rounds through that gun and so much range time that your muscle memory comes back. It's like throwing a ball. And again, my opinion, that's what it is. So it's small, it's compact. Nobody knows that I have it, and that's the funniest part about it. All these housewives and liberals, guns are bad. Guys, especially in Florida, you're surrounded by weapons. You have no fucking clue. We went to that dinner for the investment thing we did.
Yeah.
That one guy's dad, we was talking to him afterwards, and he's telling me, oh, yeah, be careful with testosterone and all that shit. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, dude, I used to do it all the time. He's like, now, this is all I do. And the motherfucker had it on him in the restaurant. Did you know?
The heater?
The heat.
The heater?
The
Yeah,
heat.
Benji got that heat, too.
Oh, Benji's just nasty.
Benji come with that heat.
That thing's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But so, those are kind of the basics of, carrying if you're going to do it. Now, in Florida, it's kind of goofy because they just passed constitutional carry, meaning you don't need a license any longer, which is great. Like it's a double-edged sword. Like that's cool. But much like a vehicle, I think they should require at least some level of training before you let an 18-year-old boy, girl, man, whatever, walk into your local gun shop, buy an 18-round, handgun, and just send him into the world with it. Like I don't think
I have an interesting debate for you there.
Yeah, okay. And I'd
Not
love
to
to
fight you on it, but I
no,
have an
no,
interesting
that's fine. I'd love to hear it, but I mean, guns and cars are kind of the equal danger. You can fuck people up, and pretty quickly if you don't know how to use the tool that you're operating. So
I got a real interesting one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real interesting
go
debate.
ahead, go ahead.
Then we need parent training, and you can't have kids.
Fuck yeah, that would be that would be amazing.
Like think about that. So, do we live in a free society, or
we do.
So that's kind of my thing. You're allowed to have a kid at what age?
As long as you can have them.
If you can
There is no
shoot
allowed.
a load,
Yeah.
or you have ovaries, you can have a kid.
Correct.
Right? What's more concerning, that or an 18-year-old with an untrained gun?
Wow.
Sit on that one.
So
Sit on that one.
because
Because that other kid's going to probably become the killer in the first place. That's wild to think about, right?
For the immediate danger to society, it's the gun. For, long-term, high-volume danger to society in the future, it's the second thing you said. But
It's just an interesting.
yeah, no, I get it. And and it's interesting because the right to defend yourself is an unalienable right. It's one of those things that it's a God-given right to defend yourself.
So let me ask you this, ready? So what about time? Like, think about this. This is why I think I would say unregulate the shit out of it even more. Because what if right now, today, they're like, we know there's, we live in Boca Raton. You live in Boynton Beach, Florida, Palm Beach County we live in. We know there's 15 soldiers running around house to house shooting. And there's families and an 18-year-old kid that don't have guns.
Yeah.
And they got to run to the gun store and get registered? Or
Yeah.
should they be able to buy that and protect themselves?
Yeah, I get it. No, I get exactly what you're saying. It's, there's common sense.
If somebody calls you on the phone, a jealous boyfriend, let's say, man, I got some stories for you with this too. You want to go back 20 years? I had a couple. I didn't know this one. I'll tell you an example. I didn't know this one girl.
Yeah.
I had no idea she was with anybody. She was so free, and she was at my buddy's house, and we did the damn thing, right?
Yeah.
Dude, the next day I got a call from this guy, and it was her fiance.
Holy shit.
And I just told him the truth. I was scared the way he was talking, bro.
Oh, yeah.
So scared. He was, and I didn't know. I told him, and I calmed him down, and I told him, I said, dude, your girl's a hoe.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't tell me. I'm sorry. She didn't tell me anything. She didn't mention anything about you. And he really appreciated me saying that, right? And but anyway, like, what if there's a situation like that? Crazy dude says, "I'm going to come over and shoot you." Well, I better go get gun training. Like, no, I got to go to the store and get a gun right now to protect myself. You know?
Yeah,
I'm messing with your head. I know. I know,
bro, buddy. I get it.
Yeah.
I 1000% get what you're saying. However, I also grew up in the Boy Scouts. Always be prepared, right? So the first fucking thing I did when I moved here was I got that concealed weapons permit, and within 6 weeks I had it in my hand, and then fucking a gun 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I get it.
Prepare now. That's the.
See, I'll take this deeper. Ready?
That's
so you're
a sketchy thing.
So
right?
I'll take this deeper. Okay, as I'm. This is good. We're talking this through. Like, I'll give you an example. I hate that we don't teach. I hate that the options are French and Spanish and these bullshit like
and German.
Dude, how about sign language? How about ASL? Right? Like, why don't we teach ASL? Because I actually took ASL in college, and I realized, So why don't we? Maybe gun training is almost like taught from age 6. Like, why don't we institute it like that?
100%. And
10 years old, or whatever age.
It was.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
maybe
dude,
13.
Oh, bro, there's pictures of BB guns in high schools where your physical education teacher would show you how to operate weapons. China's doing it right now. China's doing it right
Not
now.
live rounds, I'm saying.
No, absolutely not. But I'm saying, dude, I'm watching videos of
because I might shoot. If at 14, I might have shot somebody.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll BB the shit out of them.
beep, beep, beep.
You fucker.
But you're seeing videos of Chinese youth disassembling weapons in unison, and they're fucking crazy, bro. Switzerland? Is it Switzerland? It's either Switzerland or Sweden, where it's ingrained in their culture. It's no longer ingrained in our culture. The other thing that we lost was consequence, the fear of consequence. There's no fear of consequence. So somewhere along the way, we went from a God-fearing nation that feared consequence, worked hard, valued the family, to whatever this fucking pygmy bullshit is that we have today. And it's a fucking disaster. I wouldn't trust guns in the hands of probably 70% of Americans. And here's the other reason, because I understand the danger it poses to everybody else that's just minding their own fucking business. Do you have a God-given right to protect yourself with a weapon? Absolutely. I believe that. Be prepared, have your training. That's kind of what it is. You got to think ahead. So I don't know, man. There's no right answer.
I think there is. I think there is a right answer. The right answer is that we need to get back to a society of training and educating versus.
But they can't, because again, it all goes back to the agenda that we were talking about at the top of the show.
Yeah.
They need a weakened America, and we've talked about this before. They have to get the guns out of our hands. They have to. They're not going to fucking do it, but they have to. The only reason we haven't collapsed completely as a society yet is because they haven't been successful in doing it.
It's amazing how fundamental this is to safety.
Oh, guns are everything. It's the reason
it's a national sovereignty.
It's the reason Japan didn't invade us during World War II. And there's a famous quote. It's a notorious quote at this point from a Japanese general. But when asked, "Why aren't you invading the mainland?" Because there's a rifle behind every blade of grass in that country.
There's also mountain regions on each coast to get through.
No, I'm just saying. It would have been a tall task. But now imagine if you had an unarmed populace. They could have just strolled in with whatever the fuck they wanted. While all of our assets are fighting in different theaters, dude.
Quick question, and I think I know the answer to this, but maybe you can confirm it. Israel's gun laws?
I don't know. I
think they're like...
If I had to guess, those motherfuckers are armed because
I actually don't think so. I think it's the other way.
Really?
Yeah.
Because every single man, woman, and child in that country has served in the IDF. They have to.
That's interesting. I actually don't think they're well. I could be totally wrong. I don't want to speak on it.
I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's
you remember seeing those pictures of girls wearing AR-15s out at the bar? Yeah. That's in Israel.
No. I think it's. I think I'm right though. I think it's pretty damn. Nothing. I'm just. I think that country is very New York-like, California-like. left-wing politics, elitist mindset.
Okay. Yep. So
I could be
in
totally
Israel, the usual personal weapon allowed are pistols with a limit of 50 rounds of ammunition. To qualify, one must be a certain age, depending on IDF status, live and work in an area that demands extra security, basically the whole fucking country, not have a criminal record, and pass a training course and background check, amongst other things. It's exactly like Uncle Steve was saying. So,
Well, but okay, say what percentage? How many guns? Okay, you just went over the law. I want to know how many people actually have guns.
Citizens can own guns, but not without conditions, which is the same thing we just went over. Job requirements, living in high-risk areas. So it is, I would say it's like medium strict, but it's also part of their culture.
It's not loosey-goosey. Yeah.
No. Yeah, right. It's also part of their culture. Every single Jewish person I've met that comes from Israel has served in the IDF. Every single one of them.
And I can't confirm or deny any of these things. I'm just kind of going off of hearsay, honestly. So
that's the answer. It's they're armed if they need to be. That's what it sounds like. Which I think now they all need to be. Bro, there's 300,000 as IDF troops on the border. They're gonna fucking steamroll Gaza, bro. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, so that's 40 minutes. Bills, football cards. I think we already did. We touch peptides?
we haven't. I mean,
No, let's talk about
whatever you want.
Football cards are super cool.
Okay, I agree.
And that'll you know what, dude? That'll lead us into the close. This will be 20 minutes easy. Talk to me about these. Show the camera.
Yeah, no, I just, I'm not, when I was younger, gosh,
Oh yeah.
5 to 10 years old, I was obsessed with cards. And, it's crazy because you never would have thought back then that any of those cards would be worth anything. And some of them still are. But actually, I think there's that classic case of that Ken Griffey card.
Yep.
It was a Ken Griffey Jr., like
The
89 upper deck. Is that what it
rookie,
was?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's just because the reason I like talking about this is because it shows you, it goes into my financial headspace and why I invest the way I do. And basically what these card companies did is they started printing more and more and more of those Ken Griffey Jr. cards.
Yep.
And didn't realize that it would just destroy the value, right? And it did. So there was no scarcity. So what they did is they started printing, 1 of 100, 1 of 5, and you can even get them graded, right? So it takes like a year to get them graded. So like this Josh Allen rookie card here with his autograph and his jersey, it's a piece of cardboard that's been authenticated, and basically, this card's over $10,000. It's crazy.
I want to check it. Keep talking.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, go ahead. It's probably around 10,000 if I had to guess. And, it's just wild because it just shows you the power of money or the power of scarcity, right? And, going back to this Hamas and all these issues that are going on, our U.S. dollar is not scarce. You know what I mean? And all the printing that they've done is they've just deteriorated the value of this asset. And really the only thing backing it today is the military industrial complex. And maybe all of this stuff that we're watching on TV right now.
There he is. 5K on eBay.
It's definitely more than that, but it's all right.
Well, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah. That's the one.
Let me see. Well, is it
5 large? That's the one, and I don't think is it graded?
Yeah, but I like. It's definitely more than that, because that is not. Yeah, that's not graded.
It's not graded. Yeah. So graded.
Yeah, graded. It's going to shoot it up. So find a 9. So that's the whole value of this. Like this is a Gem Mint 10. So that's basically like perfection.
Right.
But I'll find it for you later. But worst case scenario, it's 8,000. It's probably more like 10,000. But
It's crazy.
But that's I know I talk about Bitcoin and stuff a lot, and a lot of this. It's really just if you're going to invest in something, it's scarcity is.
Yeah.
Scarcity is probably the most important thing when it comes.
That's like everything, bro. It's like cars, right? So you get a McLaren 720S, just a regular one. Oh well, they made 7,000 of those things every year.
Yeah.
But you get the 765 LT, which they only made 1,500 of. Now you got something that holds its value because of scarcity. So where the trading card industry is fucking interesting, dude. And you said something earlier where like everybody wanted that Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card, and then they just started printing more and more and more and more. Well, they didn't give a shit about you.
No.
They just wanted to sell their baseball cards, right? Now what's going on is, dude, some of these packs of cards come with 4 cards. And they're like,
way.
I've
seen those.
It's like $30 a piece. Dude, it's crazy. So they've gone the other way. They've raised the price, jacked up the scarcity, and then you have the grading industry that goes behind it. I know a little bit about the grading industry just from being an avid coin collector.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same shit. Like PSA is for cards, and then you got...
it takes like a year and a half. That's
Really?
how backed up there. Yeah, you send a card in, dude, it takes
Holy shit.
at least a year.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, coins come back a lot faster.
But then once again, scarcity.
Scarcity.
You see what I'm saying? It all goes into the value.
Dude, it's like De Beers. They're like, oh, well, you can't buy that 2018 Josh Allen Panini because there's 67 of them at PSA right now. It's the only one in the market. No, but it's cool to see, man. Like one of our business guys, one of his little side businesses, granted he makes millions of dollars, in affiliate marketing, but his side business is trading cards, where he's got a shop, and I forget where he lives, but he's got a shop, he pays an employee, and they buy and sell high-level shit like this all day long. Because if you can get a guy to sell you this card for $5,000 and it's worth $8,000, the right buyer, the right marketing is going to move this to that guy for $8,000, and you made $3,000 just for changing hands.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's all you're doing. So, and this is just football, bro. The basketball cards are worth just as much, if not more.
Some of these cards are selling for millions of dollars.
I know.
It's absurd.
Wasn't the Josh Allen card like $4 or $5 million?
There may be, dude. Some of these cards, dude, they're getting so good. Like these NBA rookies that come in,
one of one.
yeah, $250,000.
Yeah, because there's one.
And there's a potential that it'll turn. There's actually a guy who might be a generational player right now that came out, like a once in 20 year guy. His card's already a few $100,000
already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it could be. I know this sounds crazy. In the year 2040, $30 million.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to take inflation into account.
Right, but still. Remember Brian Taylor
No.
from the Yankees? It was like,
Maybe.
it was like 93.
I used to watch baseball back then. I don't remember him though.
Yeah, no, the Brian Taylor had a rookie card in I think it was 92 or 93. And I think for my birthday, my mom bought me a box of Topps cards, and all I wanted was that fucking Brian Taylor rookie, and it was not in any of them, and there was one pack left. And I wrapped it in a box and I stuffed it in the back of my closet. It wasn't until I was 23 years old that I opened that fucking thing, and there was no Brian Taylor rookie card in it. But that's the joke. The guy got hurt, but that card was worth the most of that whole set in that time period. And I don't think he ever played Major League Baseball, bro. Wow. Which is crazy.
I vaguely. Oh, now that you say that, I
remember
do.
it. Dude, I remember the card distinctly. The packs were blue, the blue wax packs from Topps. But yeah, now like Panini is all the rage. Yeah, man, these one of ones that are out there are stupid money, but you're paying $500-$600 a pack. It's nuts.
Here's why there'll always be a market for it. Just as long as our society ceased or exists or doesn't cease to exist. There's always going to be a demand for it because, dude, I just love watching Josh Allen play. Whether he wins or he loses, I really enjoy watching him, right? And there's people, dude, I'm a great fan. I wouldn't say I'm fanatical, right? Yeah. I was when I was younger. Yeah. I definitely was. But there are fanatical people about LeBron or Steph Curry or Patrick Mahomes or there's always going to be demand in those markets.
Yep. Yep. How much you want? I'll buy it. I love him so much.
So I just looked at it as, 10 years there'll be some dad who wants to buy his son a nice present, and he can buy it from me for $150,000 after Josh Allen wins 3 Super Bowls.
5. Speaking of that, it is fun watching Josh Allen play. We, the nation, gets to watch Josh Allen hopefully put an absolute stomping on the New York Giants on Sunday night. Thoughts? And I know because we did a little spin-off podcast episode the other day. Unfortunately, we had tech problems, so it didn't come out. But we've been talking Buffalo Bills football since the loss on Sunday, all week long. What do you think happened on Sunday night?
I know this is going to go sideways with this, but this is really what I think about. Yeah. And every year, hockey, basketball, football especially, there's injuries, man. Mm-hmm. But it is It has become, I believe the NFL has an injury problem. And
It does.
And I know a lot of people want to relate it to turf, but I'm going to bring out something too. So a lot of people are in the camp that PEDs are more acceptable for athletes because it helps them recover. They're putting their body through all this. And I tend to agree with that.
I do.
But here's the flip side to that. Is maybe they've gotten too strong and too athletic to remain healthy. Maybe our bodies, our Achilles and ACLs and rotator cuffs are not meant to handle this. And unfortunately, dude, like, I hate, the Bills season is in jeopardy. Well, their Super Bowl odds are in jeopardy because of injuries on defense again. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm really, part of me just thinks maybe the NFL linemen should be 240 and, maybe we should go back to 1964 football.
I know.
But it's just, the NFL has an injury problem. That's what it makes me think. And that's what sucks.
So a couple points on that. So nothing's not going to break your leg if a 330-pound defensive tackle lands on it the wrong way.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with turf. It's just bad luck, dude. The non-contact injuries, I think we can 100% attribute to turf. I think that's 100% the reason why you're getting all these non-contact ACLs popping. Like even if you look at the Rodgers injury, if that was natural grass with dirt under it, he probably wasn't going to tear that fucking thing. His leg would have probably smushed into the, his toes would have dug up the grass and his ankle would have slipped the other way. There's a point to what you were saying about maybe they're just too big, too strong, and too fast. I tend to agree with that. But we're just snake bit, bro.
Do you know who?
They're just snake bit. There's nothing you could do about these injuries, dude.
No, I know. But and here's the other thing I was trying to say too. And, our freaking podcast died, so I can say this with new information. Like what I was trying to say there is if you look at all, there's 30 teams, I think, right
32.
now? 32, my bad. Okay, 32. 32 teams. Dude, right now, today, there's 3 starting quarterbacks in the NFL that have won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And only one of them, only one, Patrick Mahomes.
Has a chance to do it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford, unlikely will ever win another Super Bowl as a starter.
Very unlikely.
Maybe Stafford could,
He could.
Right? He gets traded.
That's a frisky team.
Yeah, like possible, but it's very unlikely, right? So, like, dude, realistically, there's one franchise and one quarterback that is a champion and that has the ability to become a champion again. So I would argue there's fucking 31 teams that are snake bitten. You see how I look at that?
But dude, it's like, this is what we're realizing, right? So for 17 years, Buffalo was absolute dog shit. And, we're like, oh, we got Mario Williams, Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, guys, it comes down to, look at how the Rams won that fucking thing. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, all on the same line, right? Pretty good cornerbacks, a serviceable veteran quarterback that was savvy about it, and a head coach that, frankly, is an offensive genius and could utilize these people like Cooper Kupp in ways that the old school can't. So first on the list is a quarterback. Second on the list is a head coach that knows how to innovate and take the league by storm. Third on that list is going to be your defense, and fourth on that list is the supporting cast. And the reason offense is fourth is because just look at Tom Brady, right? What was number 1? Quarterback. Okay. Number 2 is coach. It's pretty evident now that it was all Tom Brady and not necessarily Belichick. However,
Tom Brady's got the edge. Yeah.
Tell me one receiver outside of Randy Moss in the year that they lost to the Giants that Tom Brady won a Super Bowl with. Give me one running back. Give me one offensive lineman. I can name guys on their defense.
Well, he was, so it's interesting.
Right?
Here's the thing, though.
What, Deion Branch?
And I see your point,
right?
But I would argue the league has evolved from a defense. Defense wins championships. Sure. My ass, not no more.
To a point.
Yeah.
To a point. Can you track meet it out 56 to 52? Sure. But
find me a scrub ass quarterback that makes the Super Bowl. Find me.
No. Well, the last one was what? Delfer?
Yeah.
Right? That was 2000, bro. It was 24 years ago.
With maybe the best defense ever.
But you still need to make the right front office moves. You still need to have relative health. You still need to peak at the right time. People forget, bro, that 2007 team that beat the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl, bro, they were like 9-7. And they were just peaking at the right time.
Giants?
Yeah. So, their whole thing, and I read something the other day, like the year before that, Tiki Barber retired. A bunch of their guys got injured on defense. They lost a bunch of games, and then they got healthy at the right time, peaked at the right time, and Eli Manning, for some miracle, hits David Tyree, and the fucking ball sticks to his helmet. Patriots lose. Wild. Just wild. It's a toss-up. Would you even put Eli Manning in the elite category, even in his fucking day?
It's crazy, no.
Okay, so fuck.
But he is a Manning, and there's something to that.
Yeah, there's a mystique, bro.
Like he definitely never got shook.
Or was that the scam? Or was that the NFL scam, writing the, you know what I mean?
Very possible.
Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. It's all fake. Nothing's fucking real in this world, bro.
This is what I want to say, Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
I understand being conservative and not breaking the bank, but you just said the Rams, and you know what they did that year? They
broke the bank.
Yep, traded for Von Miller. That's right. And they got Odell Beckham that year, and they both were significant contributors. With what's happened to us this year, dude, I'm sorry, man. We got a shot. We don't. If they don't make some moves. You got to go for it sometimes, man.
So, I 1,000% agree with you. I wish they would. However, if you read into Brandon Beane's philosophy, which is to build a sustainable winner, which means we're not going to go fucking blow up the bank, because here's what's going to happen. And you saw it happen with the Rams. The next year, they didn't even make the playoffs, bro.
Oh, no, they're
okay.
It's going to take them 40 years.
If the Miami Dolphins don't make a deep fucking run and or win the Super Bowl this year, they're in big trouble, bro. Yeah. They're in big, huge cap fucking trouble for next year. So, if you look at the longevity of it, now is Brandon Beane trying to save his job for the foreseeable future?
That's the other thing, too.
That could be. If the goal really is to win a championship, and granted, anytime 17's on the field, you have a shot. Bro, the point of the whole rant was so many things have to go right. So many things have to go right.
Yeah. Luck's a big player.
Huge. The drafting, like, who would have thought Khair Elam was drafted, 28th overall, 23rd overall?
Trash.
Garbage. Dude's been a hell.
Oh, here's what I want to tell you about. Yeah. So here's the other thing too. Like, I agree with everything you're saying. And listen, we're armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not like we know how to run plays better than Dorsey.
But buddy, that's the fun of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you make millions of dollars for doing something like that, yeah, you could take a little fucking heat criticism, right? But this blew my mind last night. So after the Chiefs Broncos game, the Patrick Mahomes was the player of the game, so they had him like on the little podium with Tony Gonzalez, Richard Sherman. I forget the other couple of the other guys off the top of my head. But anyway,
was Fitz up there?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And he was tripping about what he said.
Oh, yeah?
He was like, America, just know what he just said is not normal.
Come on, I'm dying. You teased me with this earlier.
They were talking about his connection with Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, and I might misspeak on this, right? But basically, if you're doing a passing play, you have designed route combinations that are designed to move defenders in a certain way that will create, someone being open in a certain place of the field, right? Okay. You know what Travis Kelce does?
No. Whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. So he has a route to run.
Yeah.
And remember that little play where he just fucking turned around? Yeah. It was just him just going.
Oh, that was him.
He's like, I'm not going to go out there. That guy's there. I'm just going to stand right here. Throw me the ball. And it's like, so basically what we're dealing with here is backyard football at the highest level.
It's a fucking amoeba.
And Patrick said, he goes, yeah, I actually know where he's going now. He goes, we actually.
Oh.
And then Fitzmagic was like, this is crazy. And they were all looking at each other like, wait, what? You're actually not even running the routes?
Oh, my God.
or he'll start his route, but he'll see the defender move towards his.
He'll just be like, I'm gonna break in instead of out.
Yeah. And Patrick's like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I know where. But that's what we're dealing against too.
Dude, it's almost like they have a mind meld going on.
So there's something to be said for iconic, generational talent, skills, cerebral ability, and
Well, let's see if 17 can form that with 86, because 88 ain't quite got it. But, dude, that makes so much sense. When Kelsey is out of the game, they look like shit.
Yeah.
And that also makes sense as to why my biggest question every time I watch them fucking guys play, nobody wants to cover Travis Kelsey. No one. Nobody's within 15 yards of the guy ever.
So it's interesting now. Holy shit. So now that he said that, are they actually just going to spy him instead now?
I know. Whoops, you gave up the ghost.
Like, wait a minute.
Oops.
No. Fucking just spy him. Just cover him. Wherever he goes, go. That's interesting.
So you play a zone as your base defense with one guy playing man on Kelsey and just don't fucking leave his side.
Because before they're like, this is really what the NFL is thinking. Yeah. How does Andy Reid always call the perfect play for Travis Kelsey?
He doesn't.
It's Travis just being.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the interview, because it was to see Ryan Fitzpatrick bug out about it,
have his mind blown. Yeah,
that's when I knew. It was this is crazy. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with.
Dude, that means they have to share a brain.
Yeah, that's what we're
effectively, and they rarely make mistakes, bro. All right, so prediction time. What's your deal? What do you think
with Bills game this weekend?
The Buffalo Bills versus the New York Football Giants, live from Orchard Park, New York.
People like to. I don't want to say clown on athletes, but people do forget they're human.
Yeah.
And, dude, I think we had some jet lag. I think we were tired. I really do.
100%.
100%. But we did have a lot of injuries. But, brother, I'm put it this way.
Yeah.
They're favored by 14. I'm gonna bet the house.
Yeah.
That's all.
Really? They're going to cover.
Oh, they're going to cover 41 14, 41-17.
41-14. Okay.
Yeah. And, dude, it's going to be one of those ones that you could have been 60.
Yeah. Oh, it's like that.
Off the metal.
It's like that.
Yep. Kyle Allen, third quarter.
All right. I mean, I tend to agree with you. I'm going third quarter. I'm going 35-10. And the only reason it's 10 is because Tyrod Taylor gets a garbage time 7 with 3 minutes to play. Just like old-fashioned Tyrod used to do for the Bills. Remember that? That motherfucker never had a 300-yard game for us. Did you know that? I think he might have had one.
Nope. No turnovers, no touchdowns.
Would you rather face Tyrod or Danny Dimes?
Oh, Tyrod.
Really?
Yeah, no, Danny Dimes doesn't get the credit for that. Danny line is trash. Yeah. Do you know how just him to get around to throw the ball away is a wonderful play.
So how many sacks we got?
Oh God. With this defense I think we're gonna make it happen. I think like 5.
Yeah, I was going 3.
I think we're gonna roll. I'm
gonna go between 3 and 5 sacks. 35-10, 41-14 from Biggie. And Buffalo gets right. It's a little get-right game against a very much so inferior opponent. All right, that's it. We good?
Yeah, no Saquon.
Right. No Saquon. No, nobody. They're all fucked up.
Yeah, and I think they're just like, just take this ass.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just take this L on Sunday night. Just get me back on the plane. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Burgers with Eric podcast. You can find new episodes on Spotify on Monday and Thursday on YouTube.